friends, we are looking at Taylor Swift's Lover House, and this is 558 pieces. It does have a model number X006, but it's not branded, so hard to tell who made it and what's going on with that. But we do have this house. I'm going to turn it around. We'll take a look at it 360 degrees. We'll talk about how it's constructed, and I will do my best to tell you what the different rooms represent. So let's turn it around first, and then we'll talk about the house and its significance in the Taylor Swift universe. And just turning it around, you can see it is lighted, and it's really meant to be displayed only from the front. In the back here, you see a lot of that exposed wiring. It is a single light string controlled by this battery box. It does include the coin battery, and you just switch that on and off to have it turn on and off. And you can see the different sections are all, the colors come through on the back there, and they're not completely monochromatic. So you'll see that, for example, in the pink room, there's a couple of different pinks, and in the red room, there's a couple of different reds, and even some blues. So they do change the colors a little bit. All right, so all right, my friends, so then the lighting kit, it is a light string that just comes through the back here, goes through there, the first floor, then through the second floor, then up to the third, and then it terminates and ends right in the attic there. Okay, I'm going to attempt to tell you what each of the sections are. So here's my understanding, is that the blue living room is represents the album Speak Now. The green room is a music room, represents her debut album. Going up to the orange room, it is Fearless. And then the red room is the album Red. The pink room, the album Lover. The blue room here with this fishbowl bathtub is the album 1989. The attic is the album Reputation. And then potentially this yellow area could be a closet. It does have a ladder up to that attic. Could be Evermore. And then the staircase, at least in what I've read online, staircase is potentially Folklore. Now this set is not minifigure scale. So here's a minifigure for comparison. It's probably half the size or even a third the size it would need to be a minifigure compatible set. So it's not minifigure compatible. All right, let's zoom in a little bit here. Take a look at each of the rooms. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure what some of the builds are in these rooms. This does have a feeling of like two cymbals and a kick drum in there. And then this does look like a doorway. Oh, and I should say, here's what I know about this house, right? It is a house that was based on one of her music videos. You saw it in the music video it was one of the tracks from the album Lover. And then they ended up using this as a set piece in her ERAS tour. And it is a major set piece there. So fans have speculated what the different rooms mean, and it sounds like Taylor Swift herself has confirmed those speculations. So that's kind of cool. All right, and then the blue room, you can see is kind of a dining room, 2 seats and a table, and some decorations and like sconces in the back there. In the red room, we see additional, like it's almost like a living room. I think that's what that one's supposed to be. The staircase is made with those 1x1 studs with the bar coming out of them, and then it looks like a spiral staircase. And then the orange room, you can see has like a big carpet on the ground and different things happening. So this might be like a creativity area. I'm not really sure what the builds are. This pink thing on top there, it's a little heart. And then this guitar is actually not clipped into anything, so it's always falling out, which is kind of annoying. In order to put it in place, I have to use tweezers to get it there. All right, and then this bathroom, you can see it has a bunch of 1x1 studs inside to represent water. And it also has kind of it's almost like some sort of, I'm not sure what this represents here. maybe I don't know if that's a ladder or something like that. You just jump in. And then bedroom has that boombox. It has a lamp in the nightstand, and it has a bed. So let's see if we can carefully remove this boombox, and then you can see the full bed build, right? So there you go. And then the closet area, it has what looks like a ladder that goes up into the attic, but behind it is a clothesline, and then or a like a clothes hanger bar, and then it looks like there's two garments potentially hanging there. So that's kind of clever. And then into the attic itself, it has stack of music and another couple of builds that I don't quite recognize what that is. And then along the top there, it's got the suggestion of an open window with the starry sky and a constellation out there. And it has a opening to go back down to the third floor. All right, and then has a chimney along the side there. And then turning it around to the back, you can see a better look at the wiring and how that works. I was really concerned that the bricks would not sit properly, being asked to pinch the wires that way, but it actually didn't end up as bad as I thought it would be. And most of the build sits fairly flat as long as you're not pinching the wires in the studs and you're routing them around the studs. It actually sits together fairly flush, fairly square. So I was pleasantly surprised about that. And the roof is white. And so looking at this, I'm gonna review it from 2 points of view. One, if you are just a Taylor Swift fan and curious about this particular set. So we'll start there. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, you saw this set for sale, I think you might enjoy this set. It's not compatible with in scale with the minifigures, but it is compatible with Lego. These are Lego parts, so you could modify it with your own parts if you wanted to. You could add some terrain. You could do some other things to customize it if you want to. And because it has lights, that's a pretty easy way to get the lighting. And the light string actually has different light nodes for the different rooms. So it is essentially a linear string, and they've measured carefully that the blue light comes through the room here, and then the green light shows up here, and the orange light here. So they've measured it to be precisely so that each node is along the right part of that string. So that makes life a little bit easier. It's not that hard to build. There are some parts where you do need to pay attention, otherwise you might get a little bit lost, but it's not the end of the world. And there's not that many pieces, so you could probably build it in an afternoon and you'd be just fine. As far as if you are an experienced builder, my review for this is they did some strange things in here. For example, this guitar is not held in with anything, and so it's always falling out. That's a little weird because they could have very easily put a snot brick in the wall and it would have held it in place, and then you wouldn't have this issue of it falling out. The other issue is, if you can see here, there's a lot of 1x1 tiles and 1x1 plates and 1x1 bricks when they could have just used a 1x4 or something like that. So my best guess is maybe they were intending for these sections here to look like cushions, because they almost look like cushions if you look at that. However, they do that technique so often in different places that I have to wonder if they were just trying to increase the part count. But I don't know. I don't know if that's really what they did. And then the other thing that they could have done with those light strings is potentially hidden them up higher up so that you don't see them. The lights are not in your face as much. If they had hidden them behind bricks, that might have been a good solution, but I understand that would have been more parts and maybe more design than they had the time or budget for. And then, yeah, some of the builds are a little bit strange, hard to recognize. For example, I couldn't figure out what that little green thing is. So there's two green circular tiles on this side bracket, snot bracket. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. And it shows up and another place here, right there. There's another one. And so maybe that's something from the music video. To be honest, I haven't watched that music video, so I'm not 100% sure. If you do know what that is, please let me know, because there's two of them there. All right, so that's my look. I would say if you're a Swiftie, grab this set if you can. And sometimes it's on Amazon, sometimes it's not, depending on when who has it for sale. And if you're a experienced brick builder, and you're a Swiftie, you might like this set too, just because it includes all of those lights, and it's a relatively fun build, and it goes by quick. And if you can get it on sale, I think you would enjoy it. All right, if you like this video, please hit like, and if you could subscribe, that would be awesome, and I'd appreciate it so much. All right, thank you.